right, welcome back to the Xfinity Sports Report, your Colorado high school connection. Brian Roth back with you. Happy to be joined in studio by the Eaglecrest Raptors head coach Mike Schmitt, senior Quentin Bowen, and then junior Jalen Mergerson. Gentlemen, great to have you this year. Congratulations on a great start to the season. The Raptors off to a 6-0 start. They have been terrific. Jalen, give me an idea. What were the expectations heading into the season?
Our expectations were really high this season. We had a lot of guys returning from last year's team. We were really young last year. And so we set the bar high for ourselves, and with the off-season work that we did, and coming in the season, we were just ready to roll.
Quentin, as a senior, to be in your final campaign as a high school football player, this has had to be a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, it's been a great season to be able to play with all my friends and just making memories that I'll never forget. We're 6-0, which is great, and we have a lot of work to do to go to the places we want to go this season.
You know, I'm looking at your roster, and I'm looking at the stats, and there's not a lot of seniors on this team. So I know you probably carry that onus on you to kind of be a leader as one of those few seniors.
Yeah, since there's not very many seniors, we have to make sure the leadership is there because there's a lot of juniors that still need to learn a lot so that we can continue to be a good team and continue to be good men and grow up.
All right, Mike, at the start of the year, I'm not sure Eaglecrest was on a lot of our radar. Maybe they were on some. You've kind of been a surprise in Class 5A. Let me ask you this. Has the start this year been a surprise to the head coach?
I think people that have played against us wouldn't say that we were surprised. We were a good football team last year. We played a lot of good opponents pretty close, and we kind of got some weird things happen at the end of the season where we didn't get into the playoffs, and we were very young, and most of our opponents knew that. So it wasn't a surprise to me. These guys work hard year-round, and for the last few years have been working hard. And so it's really about the boys and the work that they've had, and the message hasn't changed much from the coaching staff and just the school in general and just all of us. But I tell you what, these guys have listened to it, and they're personifying that message in a great way.
Jalen, was there a time early in this year where maybe you guys got a win and said, wait a minute, we have a chance to be pretty good? Was there that aha moment at all this year?
I think just our stretch when we had Thunder Ridge, Grandview, CT back to back. I think that was a big stretch for us. We weren't necessarily worried about that stretch. We just knew it was going to be tough. And we had a lot of close games that we pulled out just because of our toughness. So I think that was pretty where we realized that, yeah, we're a good team.
Quinn, tell me a little bit about this defense and just how good is this defense?
So our defense has about 4 returning starters this year, and it's pretty much just everybody knowing that we have to do our jobs and that we can't be superstars every play, because if we're superstars, that's when you make mistakes. So just by us playing as a team and playing together and knowing what we have to do to help the offense to put it back in Jalen's hands, we help him out by getting stops. And we've played some tough offenses for sure, some good running backs, and we just have to persevere and know that our team could stop them.
Right. You know, I heard a quote, in fact, I read a quote from your head coach sitting next to you about the defense saying they play with a different type of mentality. What is that mentality?
We kind of go on with an angry mentality, but at the same time, we're focused. So we don't go on, and if we make a big stop, we know that we're going to have to make another play because nobody knows if the offense can break a play at any time. So we have to know that we're there every single play.
You know, this is an offense, Jalen, that has been very good this year at times, but you've been picked up by your defense as well. I looked at that Thunder Ridge game, but I look at some of the numbers, your offense. Not only do you guys get the job done throwing the football, but you're a power run team too.
Yeah, our O-line is pretty big this year, and they've been working a lot. They just drive off the ball. They get those holes open. It's been pretty good for me too in the passing game because now I have time. I can just sit back, take my time, make my read, and make a ball or throw the ball.
Yeah, so you played last year as a sophomore at Eaglecrest. You're just a junior this year. Give me an idea of the difference between playing varsity football at quarterback as a sophomore to playing it here as a junior. I imagine you're a lot more comfortable.
Oh yeah, definitely. Sophomore year, it was so fast. Everything was fast. I was just trying to get comfortable with the speed of the game. But just junior year, it's just like kind of settled down a little bit. Like it's not as quick. And kudos to our O-line, they made it better for me this year. It was a little bit last year.
Mike, talk to me a little bit about Jalen and what he's able to do for you at that quarterback position.
You know, our offense is up-tempo. If you watch us play, there's not much time in between snaps. And so as a quarterback, you have to have someone who can really – because we have a lot of checks too. And some of the plays that make us look good as coaches is him making that decision. And so, but he's the kind of human being and the kind of person that we have always wanted and always looked for in our quarterbacks. And so his intelligence – and his ability to process information, get guys in the right position have been great for us for the last 2 years. And so that's really, for us, the biggest issue is having someone who can handle that. And Jalen, even as a sophomore, did a great job. And this year, he has even excelled expectations even more.
Yeah, and Jalen, you have a lot of weapons out there, too. And a kid I really remember from last year is now back this year is Victor Garnes.
Oh, Vic, he's that big play ability. Like, anytime I can just throw it a couple of yards, he turns it to a 70-yard touchdown. That's the biggest thing for him. And he also allows for our other guys to get open, because now teams will start keying off of him, and then we'll just check to our other guys.
Yeah, I know it's always good as a quarterback to have guys that can make plays for you. How about defensively? And talk a little bit about Quentin, what he's able to bring to this defensive unit.
Again, same concept. It's just the quality human being that these guys are. And I think our defense is what – football is always a game of blocking and tackling, no matter how fancy you are. And I think what those guys have brought is just the intensity piece that is beyond that. And Quentin seems like a pretty mild-mannered guy. He's got his glasses on, Clark Kent type. But I think all those guys, and he's just one of them, they're all high academic kids.
Yeah.
That just really appreciate running to the ball. They appreciate the physicality of football, and especially in defense, especially in Colorado, where teams run the ball a majority of the time.
You know, Mike, this is an Eaglecrest program. It does have a football state championship. It's back in 1993. The school opened back in 1991, I think. So there hasn't been a lot of success necessarily recently in terms of competing for state championships. Here you are at 6-0 in the season. Everybody has Eaglecrest on their radar now.
Sure.
How do you approach that with the kids? Is it business as usual, or do you have to talk to them a little bit about how to kind of handle some of the media attention? Because here we are on XSR, and you're doing TV now.
Sure. The message from the get-go, we played in the quarterfinals 3 or 4 years ago.
Sure.
And like I said, we've always been a tough team. And so I just think with the guys this year, it has just simply been, the concept of we're just going to be the best that we can be. We don't pay attention to any of that stuff. And these guys have heard that message consistently from coach to coach, and then from each other to each other, that we're just trying to go out and be as fast, strong, and as good as we can be every single game. And if the score works our direction, we'll be happy with it. But right now, and that's really, I honestly say, it's not just TV talk or whatever the heck you want to call it. It really is us just really trying to be the best athletes and the best football teammates that we can be.
Quentin, we mentioned the fact you're having a blast here in your senior year, off to a 6-0 start. Just 4 games left. What's your mindset as you reach October here now, and you're playing some of your final days of high school football on a team that is as good as you guys are?
Well, just knowing going into these last 4 games, I know we have to stay humble, because that's the only way we're going to keep winning games and keep our mentality right. Because our team, we're very good, and we know what we're doing. And just as long as we play to our standard every single game, we can keep winning, and we can go on as far as we want to go, and we can choose our own destiny.
Jaden, this team, what do you guys have to do to close out the season strong and then make a run into that state tournament?
A lot like Q was saying, just stay humble, stay focused. Our coaching staff, we always talk about going 1-0 each week. That's big for us, but that's all we're focused on. Just that game, that week, just getting it done. And just keeping guys healthy is a big part for us too. We just want to stay as the team that we are and just keep rolling.
Mike, these guys are all buying into what you're preaching. There's no question about that.
It is a joy to coach. I heard Urban Meyer say something one time a couple of weeks ago about, it's fun coaching good kids. You don't really necessarily want to coach kids that don't listen, that don't do what they're supposed to, that aren't good people from around you, that have lack of integrity. This team, more than any other team I've ever been around, has so much integrity about them, so much effort. And we preach again, control what you can control. Don't worry about officials. Don't worry about whatever happens outside of our little world of hustle and just doing the things we can do. And they bought into it. And it's kudos to them, man, because I don't think I say anything different that any other coach would say. I think they just listen to it a little bit more than maybe some other players.
Well, these 2 young men are great representatives of Eaglecrest football. Gentlemen, good luck the rest of the year. Good luck against Rangeview coming up next week. And thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, that'll do it here for Eaglecrest football. Great story and an outstanding team. Jalen Mergerson, Quentin Bowen, and head coach Mike Schmitt. We'll take a timeout. Still plenty more to come here on the program. When we bring it back, we'll take a look at those Raptors. They were taking on Rocky Mountain on Thursday night. Stay with us.